wanted to talk about performance with you for a few minutes and maybe start to get you thinking about it a little bit differently. If I was to ask you the question, how do we know when someone has performed or not? There's a chance that at least most of your answer would be around the results, the outputs, the achieved goals. Have we done what we said we were going to? Have we achieved what we wanted to? Have we had that impact, the bonuses, the incentives, and so on? But for me, it's equally true that it's possible to perform well and not necessarily get the intended result. Think of sports teams that perform well and lose. And again, sports teams who maybe perform badly and win sometimes. Well, these are my ingredients for performance sitting underneath. For me, if we've got a workforce that are really clear and connected to what they need to do, how they do it, to the bigger picture, they understand how it contributes and how they contribute to the vision and the mission and the values of the organisation, and they are committed to delivering against that and have controls in place that help them measure their impact against that clarity and connection that they have, and they feel capable and confident of delivering what they've agreed to deliver. That gives us the foundations of great and high performance. However, there's a tendency for us to manage all of that. Hey, we've got a big phrase that we use all day, every day nearly, in all our organisations, which is performance management. We manage performance. We have processes and systems to manage performance. And when we do that, we put those results at the heart of the organisation. We ask people what they're going to do. We tell them how we want them to do it. We give them the measures. We ask their commitment. And then sometimes we get a little bit clever with this. When it doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction, we'll try and make it a bit softer. We will manage their performance by adding a vision to give them clarity and connection. This is why we do it. This is the vision statement. This is the mission statement. These are the values. Yet how often could you go around to the organisation and ask them to write down the vision and the mission and the values, and they either wouldn't know them or they wouldn't know them all, and they wouldn't seem to be that connected to them? Quick test for you. If someone in your team came to an end of year review and had achieved all their targets but hadn't really worked in line with the values, and then a second person in your team had come and they were nailing the values but hadn't hit their numbers, would they be treated exactly the same? Probably not, is the answer in most organisations. So we manage that. And if we're not getting the performance and the results that we want, we will put people onto development, we'll put people on training courses. We will try and build their capability and their confidence. And normally we kind of assume that the capability will make them confident. Well, you've been trained on that, so you can do it. Yet we know, and having coached lots of senior leaders, that quite often, despite being capable, we don't feel confident. And you'll also know people who feel really confident and maybe aren't that capable. So managing all this doesn't work, and what it tends to lead to is a lowering of that connection to the values, despite them being on all the walls and all the meeting rooms. You know what? The problem isn't that the values are on all the walls. I've seen organisations where the values do indeed live through everything that people do, and they are on the walls still. The problem is we're trying to manage it. People don't feel it. And trust levels tend to be lower. Relationships, rapport levels, the emphasis on people drives to lower levels of trust. And when results is pretty much all we do and all we manage, it's time that pays the price. So often people say to me, I don't have time to do that. Oh, I'd love to be able to do more of that, but there just isn't time to do it. I've got too many other priorities. Time. We are always managing performance and trying to steer things back on track. Now, Stephen M.R. Covey said, and I love this quote, we manage things and we lead people. And if we're always managing, then we're always dealing with things. But we tend to treat the people as those things. We're not managing the results, we're managing the people. And as a result, people start to feel like things. So here's my definition of performance. The ingredients required to give you the best chance of achieving the results. How can we actually start inspiring and motivating people towards high performance instead of only waiting for them at the finish line to measure it? So let's switch this around. Instead of performance, we'll manage results. And when we manage results, I'm going to put goals at the centre. We need controls and commitments around those goals. And we still need vision, we still need development, and all those other things. But if we're still managing that, it's probably not going to work for us. So it's time to introduce those other elements of leadership. Well, from what we just said, we need to lead people, not manage them and drag them towards that clarity and connection, but lead people towards it. And we do that by building it with them. Co-creation and collaboration. When people have skin in the game, when people feel like it's their baby, they are more likely to feel connection to it. They're more likely to have a lot more clarity, or certainly seek it themselves if they feel that connection. And this is where we see the values will organically grow to where we want them to be. And if people feel clearer and more connected, they will want controls in place to measure if they're achieving it or not. They will commit to it. They want to do the best job that they can. Co-create and collaborate those goals with you to make sure we're going to succeed together. And they're probably going to start coming to you for that capability and confidence piece, asking you and telling you what they need to be able to commit, to be able to fully achieve those goals, but only if we also guide that performance. So guiding performance instead of managing it. And doing that through having great conversations and also coaching conversations. Building levels of trust in the organisation. Building relationships. Building rapport. Understanding each other more. Helping people reach their own answers and find their own connections. Investing the time up front so we're not losing that time down the line, having to manage and manage and manage. But when it comes into that centre part of actually managing those results, we need to make sure there is consistency, quality communication, and alignment of everything that we do. Can I speak to different managers and different people and get the same answer, get the same feel? Or is everyone working at different agendas? Feeding that bottom line, that inspirational line, motivation, engagement for people to want to perform, to give them the best chance of performing, is our challenge in the modern workplace. And altogether that brings together this C12 leadership culture code. So thinking about your style of leadership, is it the clarity or connection that we're trying to influence? Is it the controls or the commitment? Or is it the capability or the confidence? And depending on that, do we need to lead, manage or guide? And if it's that, what is it we're needing to lead them towards? Well, let's co-create and collaborate that. Let's make sure there's consistency and 100% communication where people actually understand what it is that we're trying to communicate. We're not just broadcasting and hoping. And are we having more conversations to understand people, to help them achieve their goals and building levels of trust? I hope this has been useful, and I'd love to know if just one thing that it's made you to think differently about as a result of watching it. And maybe one thing that you're going to try out on the back of seeing this video today. Let me know in the comments. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.